How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its big spring sale right now. These deals will be lasting for another 2 weeks, and then another cycle of deals will be added in on April the 14th, I believe. Quite a few good deals available right now. We already did a video looking at games under $10. Now we're looking at games under $20, which is going to open up quite a bit of games to be recommended. Some crossover in the sense that we have bundles recommended as well. We'll get to that in a little bit. But first up, we have Bayonetta and Vanquish 10th Anniversary Bundle, which is 60% off for $15.99. Fairly good deal on this one. Obviously, it includes Bayonetta and Vanquish, two fast-paced action titles coming from Platinum Games, and if you know Platinum, these games really showcase the best of Platinum. Vanquish is super over-the-top, even by Platinum standards. You know, fast-paced gameplay, just off-the-wall story, and yeah, insanity with Vanquish. On the shorter side, but still a very good game. Bayonetta, obviously an excellent game. Unfortunately, we don't have Bayonetta 2 on PlayStation platforms, but Bayonetta is still excellent, and $16 for both games is a great pickup, so would highly recommend that. Essentially $8 a pop, and when you're talking about games, you know, this much on the shorter side, you know, that's a pretty good price for both of them. Next up, I want to give a shout to Assassin's Creed Syndicate, the Gold Edition, which is 70% off for $14.99. Yeah, you can usually get the base game for like $9 when it's on sale, but the Gold Edition for $15 is pretty good. It includes the additional content, the Season Pass, and some other bonuses bonus in-game stuff. So $15 for Syndicate, I think, is a good deal. This game, unfortunately, completely flopped from a commercial standpoint. I think that's because it was following up on the release of Assassin's Creed Unity, but Syndicate, I thought, was a very good game, man. I thought the open world had a lot of content. I thought traversal in the open world was pretty good. I thought the story was pretty good. You know, I was a little bit disappointed that this game did underperform commercially, and then ultimately Ubisoft completely changed the Assassin's Creed formula, but I enjoyed Syndicate for what it was. If you like the older Assassin's Creed games, give Syndicate a look. It might pleasantly surprise you, and I think you might have a good time with the game. Next up, we have Wolfenstein, the Alt History Collection, 67% off for $19.79. I mentioned Wolfenstein the New Order in the Games Under $10 video, but if you're looking to pick up everything, this is such a good value. This gets you Wolfenstein 1, Wolfenstein 2, it gets you Wolfenstein the Old Blood, and it gets you Wolfenstein Youngblood. Now, Youngblood isn't the greatest thing in the world, but New Order, Old Blood, and New Colossus are all very good games, and to get all of that for $19.79, I think is an excellent deal. Given that Wolfenstein 2 alone usually goes for like $15, to get everything at $19.79, I think is a great pickup. The only thing you're missing here is like that VR game, which I forget the name of, but nonetheless, Cyberpilot. But yeah, $19.79 for all of that is quite good. Next up, we have Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack, 50% off for $19.99. Man, Azure Striker is a game that I really gotta start singing the praises of more. I feel like when it does go on sale, I usually give it a mention, but it doesn't go on sale all that often. Nonetheless, this is one of those deals that actually is going to be ending at the end of the sale. It's listed to end on the 28th, but nevertheless, this gets you Azure Striker Gunvolt 1 and 2. If you guys are a fan of Mega Man games, you'll be right at home with this one. You will really enjoy 2D action platforming, good traversal, and interesting storyline as well. You know, $19.99 may look a bit pricey, but you are getting two games here, so essentially $10 a pop for each of them. I think that's a pretty good price. They aren't the lengthiest games in the world, but they have a decent bit of stuff to do, and again, $19.99 I think for both games are excellent. 2D action platforming fans, if you like Mega Man style games, you're gonna really enjoy this, so yeah, $19.99 again, a good pickup. Now, on to legit Mega Man. Mega Man 11, 50% off for $14.99. Man, Mega Man 11 is a bit of a throwback while also modernizing the old school Mega Man titles to make it very accessible for a modern audience as well. Would I like to see this a little bit cheaper? For sure. This came out a while ago. I want to say 2018, maybe 2017. It came out like 4 or 5 years ago, and while it holds up really well, that's not the issue. It's just $15 is still kind of pricey, but if you're a fan of Mega Man, you owe it to yourself to go back and check out Mega Man 11. Even if it's a franchise that you more so have a nostalgic attachment towards, Mega Man 11 carries you through and introduces a good gameplay experience outside of just relying on pure nostalgia. While the nostalgia is absolutely there, as a game itself, I think it's quite good. $15, great pickup on that one. Next up, we have GreedFall, the Gold Edition. This is 65% off for $14. This is PS4 and PS5. This is GreedFall with the additional content. So it's a pretty good deal. This is by FIGHTERZ, which somebody actually left a comment in one of my recent videos saying that somebody should acquire FIGHTERZ as a studio, and I agree with that person. FIGHTERZ is a incredibly underrated studio that is getting better and better, and GreedFall was one of those games that showcased that they were becoming a better and better studio. Now, is it an absolute blowaway RPG? No, not necessarily, given that the RPG market is so competitive, but I still thought it was a pretty enjoyable RPG with a good bit of content, an interesting story, a lot of options in what you can do, and yeah, overall, you know, maybe at a full $50, $60, it wasn't worth it, but at $14 for the gold edition, that is a great price, and I would recommend it if you're looking for a more low-key RPG to play. Next up, we have the Metro Saga bundle, 75% off for $14.99. I gave mention to the Metro Redux collection, which is great, but this also includes those two games and Metro Exodus, the gold edition, so you also get all the bonus DLC, and the PlayStation 5 upgrade for Metro Exodus is obviously there as well. Metro 2033, great first-person shooter. Last Light, even better first-person shooter. Exodus wasn't my favorite of the three, but I still really enjoyed it, and again, a very atmospheric first-person shooter. The DLC is pretty decent, and the PlayStation 5 upgrade is very, very good. So all that content for $15, if you're looking to get into Metro, the Saga bundle is a great option. Essentially, if you factor in that 2033 and Last Light, that bundle is $4.50. To get the Exodus Gold Edition for $10.50, you know, when you break down the prices, that's a really good deal. So I think that's a great pickup, and I would definitely recommend that. Next up, we have Detroit Become Human Digital Deluxe Edition, 50% off at $14.99. Detroit Become Human, to many people, is the best game by Quantic Dream. Obviously, it's an incredibly choice-driven, story-driven game, futuristic sci-fi element. You know, it tackles a lot of interesting thematics. Now, with the Digital Deluxe Edition, this is actually pretty cool. You get Detroit Become Human, and you get Heavy Rain on PS4. You also get a bunch of other digital goodies, but, like, honestly, like, all that stuff isn't that big of a deal. Essentially, Detroit Become Human and Heavy Rain for $14.99. I think that's a pretty good price. Now, it's not the Quantic Dream Collection that includes Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, and Beyond Two Souls. Beyond Two Souls, I think most people would agree, is by far the worst Quantic Dream title. I really went into it wanting to enjoy it, but that story just gets completely jumbled in that game. So missing out on Beyond Two Souls, not a big deal. Maybe if you can find it on the super cheap, check it out at some point if you really enjoyed Detroit Become Human and Heavy Rain. But to get both of those games for $15, I think is a great deal. And again, Detroit Become Human, if you want to get immersed into a quality story, these games are obviously the right route to go. Now, with all the Quantic Dream games, Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Human, Beyond Two Souls, what I recommend you to do is play the game blind. Do not look up, you know, how to do X, Y, Z, what decisions to make, whatever the case may be. Just play the game blind, see how it unfolds for you, make decisions off the rip, and I think you'll enjoy it that way. And then obviously, you can go back, play it again, whatever you want to do it, but that's what I would recommend personally, and this is always a game, the Quantic Dream titles in general, Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human, especially, you know, if you want to invite a couple friends, it's not a multiplayer game, but all of you guys can sit around, and watch the game unfold, because again, it is just a story unfolding and a lot of decisions to make, and I feel like that is a very, fun experience to have when you do have a couple people over playing these games together. Nonetheless, good pickup there at $14.99. Next up, we have Dying Light, the Following Enhanced Edition, 60% off at $11.99. Now, this isn't the Platinum Edition, so you don't get absolutely everything, but you do get the notable content. You get the Enhanced Edition with the Dying Light Following, which is the big one, and $12 for Dying Light 1 is fantastic. This is also upgraded on PS5, which, hell yeah, that's something that I wanted for a while, and I didn't think was actually gonna happen, given that this game is from January of, like, 2015, so, yeah, you don't often see 7-year-old games get upgraded. Sometimes you do, but, Microsoft does a pretty good job on that, honestly, but, Dying Light is one that they did upgrade, and it's fantastic. You know, this is a game that I think most people would agree is better than Dying Light 2. You'll have to see how ultimately Dying Light 2 turns out once, you know, all the content updates and things like that come out. But Dying Light 1 is fantastic. If you've never played it, do yourself a favor for $12. Check it out. Even if you're playing it on the PlayStation 4, it runs well enough, and I think you'll enjoy it even on there. So Yeah, great pickup at a great price. Couple fighting games to recommend. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate is a 75% off for $14.99. Now, this includes quite a bit. It includes the base game, Combat Pack 1 and 2, Aftermath expansion, you get Shao Kahn in there as well. All that for 15 bucks is quite good. You know, MK11 wasn't a fighting game that I really got into, but from a value standpoint, I thought that was worthwhile a mention. If you want a bloody fighting game, you know, Mortal Kombat's always going to offer that. And Mortal Kombat's always a game, again, when people are over, you know, it's a go-to that you can just pop in and have a good time with, even if you're like me and you don't want to get the best at any fighting game anymore. My time with that is kind of over. Next up, Dragon Ball FighterZ Ultimate Edition is 90% off for $11. Now, this doesn't get you all the content. This gets you the game, the Fighters Pass, Anime Music Pack, and Commentator Voice Pack. Dragon Ball FighterZ is a super sleek fighting game, though. The presentation is awesome, and you know, unlike a lot of the other Dragon Ball games, it is more of a technical fighter, and Arc System Works, they just kill it from a visual presentation standpoint, and mechanically, it's a pretty enjoyable game as well. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, obviously, you're gonna like a lot of the features in the game and the characters involved. But yeah, at $11 for the Ultimate Edition, I thought that was a pretty good pickup. And lastly, another Dragon Ball game, DBZ Kakarot is 70% off at $18. I often mention this game. You know, if you assess it as just an open-world RPG, it's okay. It's not the greatest game in the world, but with a Dragon Ball skin, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball, you're gonna enjoy the game. The combat system's enjoyable, and overall, I had a good time with the game. If you want to go through the DBZ story, you know, it does a pretty good job of recreating that. I wouldn't go into it. With these anime games, I usually don't recommend the game itself to be your first foray into the story of the universe, but nonetheless, DBZ Kakarot did a pretty good job. The Deluxe Edition is on sale as well. That gets you the Season Pass as well. That's $25.49, so if you do want the Season Pass on that, that's not a bad pickup either. But that's going to do it for me. Again, a ton of great deals under 20 bucks. Maybe we'll look at deals over $20, but yeah, we try to stay more so on the budget side of things. And once you're hitting like the $20 range, that's already kind of expensive. But nonetheless, that's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.